Hello Libra, this is the Azure Sage Tarot, and today's reading is a general reading. Um, and I really leave it up to the spirits, so I'm going to jump right into it, and we'll see what the universe has to tell you. So yeah, as I said, this is a general reading, Libra. So take what resonates and leave the rest behind. Also, um, I don't know what I wanted to say, so I'm going to start by taking some cards from the Clue card deck, and we're gonna go from there. So I hope you're doing well, Libra, and let's see what we've got here. So, spirits, what do we have for Libra? Okay, you already have all your cards coming out. Wow. Okay, so, wow. Wow, okay. What? Sorry. Okay, I'm kind of impressed. Okay. Libra, I'm impressed. I don't know where to start. Okay, so first card that came out is the Nothing card. We also have the Freeze card. We have the Sword. And the Change. And finally, we've got the Earthy coming at the bottom of the deck as your general energy. What was amazing to me was that right under the Earthy card, we had the Fiery card. So we had both Earth and Fire. And in this deck, there is a card that, there is a card that is the Light card that I associate with the sun. But actually, how I see the hierarchy in this deck, because there are no minor or major arcanas, um, the light divides into the fiery and the earthy. And the fiery and the earthy kind of represents um, two of the four families of cards that we can find in this deck. So, for example, the Change is a card that is in the Fiery family. The Sword is also a card that is in the Fiery family. The Freeze is in the Watery family. The Nothing is a special card. And yes, so since you have kind of both the fiery and the earthy, it indicates to me that there's not far off the light. So there's not far off like optimism, um, um, the sun, if you may. So yeah, and then what I was surprised to see is that we also have sometimes I take a look at the four other cards that are at the bottom of the deck. So I saw like this, you know, the fiery and the windy. So there's only the watery missing. But what I find really interesting is that to have the four elements, you know. So what I find really interesting is that you may not have the watery near your spread, but we do have the freeze, which is frozen water. So it's really interesting to me. Really interesting to me. I really wonder what that means though. I'm not going to lie, this is a strange energy for me to grasp and explain in words. Um, okay, so your energy, the energy of Libra. There is so much going on, Libra. I don't think usually I kind of make an overview of the cards and their meanings and kind of go with what I feel, but there is just it's nuanced in a way that I feel like I should go right away with the tarot, but I think I'm going to present to you the cards and their general meanings, and then we're going to go clarifying with the tarot because I really have a difficult time right now picking up on precise energy. So if I start with the earthy right now, well, it's about financial wealth going good usually. It's about a little bit a motherly side too. It's about having strong and good foundation, being disciplined. It really represents the stability of the earth element and the motherly nature of those, like, of this element. Then we have the nothing. The nothing is kind of a negation card in the sense that if you were asking for a yes or no question, this could either mean no or no comments. You know what I mean? So the nothing card is a void card. So it's a card that often talks about serenity, peacefulness, and or um, things going quiet or not, like things not happening, nothing happening. You know, it's everything is still. There's no movement. There are no elements. There are no light or dark. It's just neutral, and that's why there's kind of this serene energy coming from the nothing sometimes because there is nothing happening. But sometimes it can be quite frustrating because there is nothing, and sometimes it can talk about feeling a void or an emptiness or feeling empty, if you will. It's yeah, it's a really special card, a really interesting one at that. And then the freeze talks about sometimes being on thin ice, like skating on thin ice. It talks about not rushing because if you rush, you will slide and fall, um, especially when it comes to feelings or connections. It talks about being numb, like emotionally numb, or numbing yourself. With well, I'm not able to. I'm stuttering a lot. Well, I always stuttered, so sorry. Um, yeah, so with the freeze, it can talk about like numbing yourself to be able to, like, having a cold exterior, you know, so that you don't hurt yourself. So yeah, it's kind of hard on the feelings, the freeze card, and it's in the middle of your spread, linked with the general energy of the earthy. So yeah, that's quite interesting right now. The sword is a card about more like having the tools to fight your way through, having the tools to kind of be able to succeed and achieve what you want. You see in those action movies and exploration movies, there are those guys in guys or girls in the jungle, well, people in the jungle, and they just cut the obstacles, like because of the vegetation that is so dense, they cut the plants from their way, and it's kind of what the sword talks about. It's cutting and getting rid of obstacles, and it's having the energy and the determination to do that. You can also use your words as a weapon with this card. And then we have the change, which talks about really change, but like major change, not small changes. We're speaking about um, sometimes drastical change. You know what I mean? It will change the way you live. For example, it will change the way you use your time. It will change your environment. Those are significant changes that comes when the change is there. It's not just a little small change like, oh, now I wake up at like 7:30 instead of 8 on the Monday, for example. This is not an enough significant enough change. We're talking about like I changed jobs, I travel to another country and live there. I quit my religion, or I join a religion. I quit a group, or I join a group. Things like that. Yeah. So those are pretty different cards, and I don't know if, you're the expert of yourself, Libra. So maybe you have made some links that I haven't made yet, but I'm going to go in the Final Fantasy VII Tarot card collection to get some, not advice, but some more details about what this is all about. So let's see for Libra. The Earthy, what do we have for the Earthy? Can you clarify the Earthy for me, spirits? Please. Can you clarify the Earthy for me, spirits? Okay, those two wanted to come out, and those are in the reverse. Okay, so we have the 5 of coins coming out in the reverse, and the 7 of swords coming out in the reverse. So this is really strange. This is really, 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 really strange, because even though those cards are in the reverse, the feeling I get is like they would have been upright. I feel like you've been feeling left out in the cold in some kind of way. Maybe someone ran away from you in some kind of way, or maybe you ran away from something. Maybe there were lies in the past, or maybe you were running away from something. But it's strange because the feeling I've got is it's kind of like you've been working on something else to distract yourself from another situation. So instead of acknowledging something, you've been working on your finances because you've been felt kind of in a pinch, maybe towards your material world. Or maybe you felt left out in the cold, but to cover that up, you've been kind of focusing on other parts of your life. It's the feeling I get, but that would be more accurate if those cards were in the upright. So yeah, just be careful, Libra, to not to pay attention to what really matters. I mean, to be success driven, like in your 3D world, and finding your success in your 3D world is a good thing, of course. But don't forget your feelings. But yeah, what about the nothing? No, I want to see the freeze first. Please, Spirit, can you clarify the freeze for me? Because this is kind of strange. Really, Libra, I'm really sorry, but this energy is driving me kind of crazy right now. It's kind of... Okay, yeah. It's really bugging me right now. I'm feeling not peaceful. Not peaceful at all. Maybe that's what you're trying to achieve. Peace of mind. But it doesn't work. So yeah. So I think with the freeze, we have the 8 of Swords upright and the 10 of Swords in the reverse. So yeah. Yeah, so I feel like, with the freeze, what I was saying about numbing yourself, like numbing your feelings. I think that's what you're kind of doing. You're kind of trapped with this ice around your heart. Libra, I think it's easier for you to turn cold than to feel despair in an emotional kind of way. I think there was some kind of ending here in the past that left you really kind of by yourself, left out in the cold, and you kind of decided to focus on other things. And what happened is that your heart kind of froze in some type of way, and it didn't kind of get rid of the feelings. It's just cold now. You know what I mean? It's just you've just lowered the temperature of your feelings by working on something else. And you tried. I think you tried to achieve some kind of peace and some kind of like getting rid of that. But what happened is that you're now, instead of having water that you can kind of use to um, irrigate your land or to water plants and make some beautiful things grow, you just have that huge bucket of ice and you don't know what to do with that ice because it's really cold and it doesn't really serve any kind of purpose right now. So you feel kind of trapped, I feel, with that ice and that Eight of Swords card. You feel trapped with something that ended, but like I feel like you're telling yourself it ended, leave it in the past, but you didn't take the time to you didn't let the time heal your wounds. That's what I feel. So what about the Nothing card? What about the Nothing card then? Is it okay? So we've got the Ace of Swords. So you're trying to achieve some kind of mental clarity. You're trying to maybe there is a lot of things going on in your mind right now, Libra. Like you're trying to see every facet of the situation and you're kind of over-analyzing the situation and over-analyzing your feelings, and that makes you feel stuck. And you're trying to get rid of all those thoughts so that there is only one that stays, and this single thought or idea that stays would be kind of clear, would be kind of the ray of clarity that would allow you to go forward in life. I wonder, spirits, about the sword now. Kind of on. Oh, that's too much. What about the swords, spirit? What about the swords? What about the swords? Yeah, we've got the Fool in the reverse. So I feel like, I would want. Okay, they're telling me one more card for the sword. Is it one more card you wanted to give me, or more than that? For the sword, for Libra, please. I don't know. Or was it? Oh, was it for the Nothing you wanted? Because you told me more. They told me more. So I'm like, okay, more what? More cards for the sword, but it doesn't seem to be for the sword. So is it more cards for the Nothing? Spirits, is it more cards for the Nothing? No. Is it for the Change? Do you want me to see for the Change before I am? Yeah. So they wanted me to see the cards for the Change before. So We've got the Two of Swords clarifying the change with the Judgment upright 2, and finally the Seven of Cups in the reverse. Okay, so I don't really know why they wanted me to see those cards for the change. Then we have at the bottom of the deck, we also have the Empress. I feel like I should tell you. I don't know why. Maybe this card is... Oh, well, actually, the Empress is a Libra card, right? It has... Well, it's mostly associated with Taurus, but it's also associated with Libra, because it's the planet that rules over, or that is linked to the Empress is Venus, right? And Libra and Taurus are both cards linked to or ruled by Venus. So there is a little bit of Libran energy in the Empress. So that's a good sign that you're coming out at the bottom of the deck like this, upright. So it's kind of a confirmation for me that you are where you are meant to be. You are where you are meant to be, Libra. So don't worry about that. I feel like I heard judging a situation too quickly, but I don't know how it will resonate. I don't even know if it will resonate with a lot of you. So take what resonates and leave the rest behind. But yeah, I heard you are judging a situation too quickly. Which, what's strange is that with the sword, it's like you have the tools to get rid of your obstacles, but you would feel like a fool to go into the battle of life, you know? You would feel like a fool to use those tools, or you feel like you're too scared maybe to use those tools, or you're too scared to take the leap of faith and get rid of those maybe thoughts or limiting beliefs or blockages. But they're telling me that with the change, there's something between the sword and the change. Maybe you feel like you don't have a choice. Maybe you feel like you don't have a choice and consider something that like with the Seven of Cups in the reverse, it's like there are no opportunities, there are no choices to make. But you still have the Two of Swords, which is also a card that is kind of associated with Libra. But the Two of Swords talks about needing to follow your intuition to make the right decision on something. And the Judgment is kind of, it could talk about a serendipitous message or clarity, but it can also talk about judging yourself or judging something, or giving a second chance, like a second look on something, giving a second look at something. And maybe there are kind of you know what? I'm going to cut this deck and have a clarifier for the change. So we've got the power. we've got the power, and just under the power, what card do we have? Libra. So definitely, I think you are on the right path, Libra. But what I would tell you is that your biggest obstacle is yourself. Here, I think maybe you're in analysis paralysis kind of state, because you have the power to change everything. You have the power to change your situation. You have the power and the fertility to make beautiful things grow for yourself and live off of that growth and that fertility. Um, you really, really have all the tools and all the powers, like everything that you need is in your hands, but you can't seem to be able to make your decision. You're still considering things that you shouldn't be considering, and there's a point that will happen where you see that there never were a lot of options and that you just needed to do that one thing. I don't know what it is, but there is one solution that you should go for. It's not one right. Don't get me wrong. It's not one right answer. No, it's just there is one thing that you need to do. There is one action that you need to take, one decision that you need to make, and one leap to take. And this will unlock yourself, because remember, we've got the Eight of Swords in the upright under the freeze. So what is trapping you in ice is your own self, your own mind. So I really think you're in a over analysis state about something right here. I think you're paralysis analysis, really. You're paralyzed by how much you analyze before making a decision, because you're waiting to have nothing else, no other options than this one sword of truth. You're waiting to have like only one cup, not 7 to choose from. You're waiting to have only one cup, but that won't happen, Libra. That won't happen. You'll have to make a decision. And maybe that's a lesson that you have here. You need to make a decision that will change your whole life, but a decision nonetheless. And I think it's because this decision requires a lot of strength, a lot of courage to take, actually. And I think you're trying to look at it from a logical standpoint, from a material and 3D and realistic point of view, but by doing so, you're not allowing your feelings to enter, and to like you're trying to go with what is safe and not what you feel like doing. A mind over heart situation. The problem is that you're not willing to make the decision that you think is the right one right now, because deep down you know that you're not taking into account your own feelings, but your feelings are what scares you, because maybe they would require you to make changes in your life, or to make to make changes in your life that would not guarantee your kind of safety, like not safety in terms of like, oh, you're not safe because you're near a volcano that will explode, but more in the term like financial security and stability, emotional stability, for example, or security. I think it's like maybe you have a choice between staying in the region you are already working, or going elsewhere to work. And from a logical point of view, it will be more beneficial to stay here, because, and it's just an example I'm telling you, because you already have a home here, you already know the people of the region, you already are working there, so you already know who you are, like working with, and where you are working, so you have like this comfort and this reassurance of knowing the things where you are. But you have an opportunity, maybe you have a choice to make between here or there, and the there I'm talking about may be really exciting. Maybe your feelings are like, yeah, go there. You should go there definitely. But the problem with that is it would require you to kind of um, well, to jump into the unknown. And what would happen there is like, will I really love that? I need to find a new house. I don't know who I will be working with. I'll need to learn where the things are. Um, and I need to get familiar with the workspace there that will be different from the workspace I'm used to. But the problem is that there is something that is really attractive about that opportunity. Um, and your heart is like, you should go there, but your mind is like, can I really though? Are you sure you're not telling me things that will end up being not okay? You know what I mean? So you've got the power. So yeah, so it's really that you've got all the power, and you could decide to take that opportunity that your heart desires. And remember, you are fertile, you are the Empress. So if you take this opportunity, I'm pretty sure with what it stands right now, where it stands right now, and the cards I have, I'm pretty sure that if you would take that opportunity, you would be able to make it grow in something really, really stable, something really, really wonderful and fulfilling for you. Of course, I am not a professional financial advisor, so if you think you need like, if there is really a big game of money at play, I would consider seeing an advisor to see what your options are, and maybe trying to get rid of the other options that you like that are um, not even an option with your financial state right now. But yeah, so that's what I feel. That's what I see. I see that you could take it. You could take that opportunity, but you kind of frozen that opportunity. You're like, oh, I can't go there because I would be left out in the cold. So in fact, the thing at first is because you fear you're in the what ifs, you know, what if, what if, so um what if I go there and I don't have that security, financial security? What if I go there and it was a lie, and it was too good to be true? Because probably this decision, if you make it, there are no turning backs, for example. I don't know what this is about exactly. Probably about maybe some kind of, I think it may be about a job, probably about a job or a project. But yeah, I think we're going to go and see with the Alchemy Flower Oracle deck what advice I can get for you, Libra. But yeah, there is something you consider, and maybe you don't even think it's possible for you to actually uh, take that opportunity, you know? And you're like, Sage, I can't do that. This is too risky. But your heart still desire it, doesn't it? So let's see what you've got, Spirit, for Libra. What advice do you have, Libra? What advice do you have for Libra, Spirit? What advice do you have for Libra? Huh. So at the bottom of the deck we have New Beginnings. Should I really explain this card to you? I think they are just telling you that maybe not with this specific situation, Libra, but at least in general in life, that you should be more open to having new beginnings of some kinds, of some sorts, and leaving your comfort zone from time to time and once in a while to be able to experience a diversity of things and collect experiences and good memories with that. And yeah, but of course, new beginnings could be just a simple sign to tell you sometimes things need to end. Like sometimes things need to end, and um, you need to take a leap of faith to go towards something else and make the changes necessary to have a better life. There's also celebrate. So celebrate yourself, Libra. Celebrate your power, celebrate your knowledge. Take time to have fun and maybe celebrate the little things in life. Celebrate the opportunities too. I think it's also a kind of a sign that it could be like it should be. I think spirits are trying to say here that they didn't like the universe didn't want you to feel that much pressure about this decision. They just wanted you to take it more lightly and be able to celebrate your decision afterwards. Like, no, I'm gonna stay. Yay, you're staying. With your like your surroundings, or maybe no, I'm going to go, and other people will be like, oh yes, I'm so happy for you, and like, yay, let's celebrate. It wasn't meant to be that much pressure. It was just meant to be an opportunity that you could choose to take or not, and in the end celebrate your choice. You know what I mean? And finally, we have Blissful Pleasures. So my Blissful Pleasure card is really about enjoying the little things in life, taking the time to enjoy what small pleasures you can have. It's also a card that talks about like multiplying those moments and trying to make them appear in your life as often as possible. And yeah, I think they really want you, like, what I keep hearing, like, sorry, I've got messages coming through, but I keep hearing like, why the long face? Why so serious, Libra? Like, I think your spirit guides really want you to cheer up. They didn't want you to feel that much pressure, and they didn't want you to feel stuck like this. They wanted you to. I think they brought you this opportunity, and they thought you would be celebrating this opportunity actually, and being like, yes, finally I can do that. I can do what my heart desires. But you can choose whatever you are, and they are going to keep sending you little things you are going to be happy about, you know? So yeah, Libra, I think I'm going to leave your reading here. It was my pleasure to read your cards. I hope something resonated. Thank you for watching, and yeah, I wish you a really good day or night whenever you're watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.